Going to be a quick counter-attack. Sai loses the ball. Big knock forward. Waterfall's down and he'll find the target. Opened up from the heavens. Down, a Decadensky player gets a touch right in field. And hold on a minute. It's going to be on target. Ripper knocked out.
Isaac trying to bring this ball away. Flipping into the middle. No, NC cuts it off the sidewall. Beautiful redirect. Clear, but Dantronex collects. It's over to the left side where Silence lies. What a pass inside. Dirk and Jazz working together. The low 50 played, ball into no man's land. Hill motion, takes to the skies, off the ceiling, reset, dunks down!
And Clifty will look to try and take a shot at the upper finals. Still waiting for his real opening. Clifty off the ceiling, hold on a minute, he will find the redirect! Welcome to the Redirect 3v3 Monthly. Last month, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We had TTV velocityrll taking on Project Jamal in that upper final. And well, it's in the name. velocityrll made rather swift action of their opponents, forcing them down into the lower brackets versus ZGDX. And Project Jamal, seemingly learning a lesson from their previous opponents, enacted a rather similar force against this orange-sided team. They earned their rematch here in the grand finals, where despite a greater fight coming from Project Jamal, velocityrll forced themselves to a match point overtime, where ultimately velocityrll collected Redirect 23's championship. They'll be returning here for the broadcast for the upper finals, as will I, Sir Pegasus, alongside, after quite the hiatus, Rhino. Welcome back to the Redirect Monthlies, my friend. Here we are!
It's been a minute, but it's a pleasure to be back on the Redirect Monthlies. These tournaments are so important for the community at whole, at large, whatever you want to say. They are fantastic. So we're so excited to get into everything happening tonight. 3 games coming up. No idea which way they're gonna go, but you'd be hard pressed to argue against Velocity not picking up their second tournament win in as many games. But we'll get onto that a little bit later.
I must say, it is an absolute miracle that they've got us in the same room together. I mean, it took quite some time for that to happen in the first place, right? It took us so many different broadcasts to eventually be together in the booth. We've had some time together now, but for these Redirect Monthlies, Az's just not having it. It's too powerful. It's too much European in the booth. We needed a bit of that American spice alongside with the likes of Quanzek, who I'm sure will be returning at a different point. But we got part of the Zoo crew together for today's monthly. And TTV velocityrll as well. They're just looking to farm these monthlies every month.
Yeah, it really does feel like they are that monster that comes through into the Redirect Monthlies. Very difficult to beat, very difficult to overthrow. They're doing fantastic work in their group. And although we hear they did lose a game earlier, even though it wasn't really a lost game, there's stuff to talk about there that maybe we'll get onto at some point if we do actually want to give Kingsman Gas even a shred of credit, which we normally don't quite enjoy doing. But they are continuing their brilliant form. They're currently steamrolling through the entire tournament. And a new face arises. Strike or be struck gonna come against them here. And it's gonna be a tough game for them for sure. But always like seeing new faces. Always like seeing new people in the Redirect Monthly.
Also like seeing these new graphics as well. How about that for a cheeky matchup? I know you liked the hype video in the replays as well. Here are the two teams facing each other. Velocity, Motion, and MSN making up Velocity to take on Frantic, Blackstrike, and Yonix. And I'm going to assume Yonix here. I'm going to go for a bit of a Scandi J despite the Spanish flag there. The strike or be struck. And it must be mentioned here, Rhino, I had a little bit of conversation with RDR Hazza himself about Velocity and Motion. They've teamed together for quite some time. They've played in a lot of these monthlies. They've won quite a lot of these monthlies. They're very much verging on that point of potentially being the Redirect Monthly GOATs. There's a real argument for it. If you go into the Hall of Fame channel in the main server, just scroll up. You will see Velocity. You will see Motion. You'll see their former teammate as well, Glifty, mentioned on numerous occasions. But that one consistent point, Velocity, he's the name of the team. He's the main man on the roster, always coming out with gold.
Yeah, and there needs to be a conversation about that, right? We need to start collecting the stats. We need to start really taking a look at those kinds of things. But you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who's had more top-level performances in these Redirects monthlies than Velocity and Motion. Those two working together seem to be an indomitable force that just can't be overthrown. Teams have tried, teams have failed. Will we see one succeed today? That's going to be the question, certainly in this first series, as we've just mentioned. Strike or be struck, Frantic, Black Strike, and Yonix. I'll be honest, I've not heard too much about these players. I don't really have too much of a background. I don't know if Pegasus is different, but for me personally, I'm not 100% sure. So, going to be interesting to see exactly how they match up against, as you say, the GOATs of the tournament.
Absolutely. And well, that is a huge title now, given that this is the 24th month of a Redirect monthly. You stitch them all together, you get rid of a break. That's 2 years straight of Redirect action every single month. I believe the actual streak, however, being a bit closer to about a year and a half. We're going to have to start getting those stats together very, very soon. But Velocity, Motion, MSN, looking for that return into the grand finals with that extra game in hand as well. They're definitely the favourites heading into this matchup. They're the number one seed as well. All pressure is to them to take this victory. Strike or be struck, they've certainly got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter is that Velocity have been in this position before, right? So for some teams coming in as the number one seed, for some teams who come in with all of the belief and all of the confidence behind them, that can actually be to their detriment, right? If that's the first time they've seen it and they start to struggle, they start to crumble under the pressure, they start to maybe get inside their own head, maybe we're not quite that level. You won't see that with this velocityrll roster. Absolutely not. They have been here, they have done it, they have got plenty of t-shirts and trophies to prove it. So they've got no problem with taking home that first seed and then going on to try and win the tournament as well. Strike or be struck, I think there is definitely an air of who are these guys kind of thing, which can be difficult when you're going up against an unknown quantity. You've not got a lot of tape. You don't know what you're coming up against. You don't know the quality of opposition. So they do have that surprise factor, and maybe they'll catch them out in game one. But they're going to have to do that if they want to take anything in this series.
It's a conversation that we have quite a lot when it comes to RLCS team streams, especially when we find ourselves casting for rostered players that are perhaps making a name for themselves. You can see the buff that can bring. You might get slightly disrespected within the games and be able to catch your opponents completely off guard. But also, you don't have that fear factor, and that's what velocityrll are going to have. Some people just play differently. When they see the name, if you're anonymized them, maybe you play a regular game, maybe you could come out on top, but you can play a little bit differently when you're aware of who your opponents are. Sometimes you play a little bit too safe, you sit back, you're too scared to challenge, you give them all the space in the world, and you cannot do that with velocityrll because they will run over you like they have done historically again and again and again in these monthlies.
Yeah, they will. There's no doubt about that. They're top seed for a reason, so we'll see if they do give them any respects. I mean, strike or be struck, they are ranked third. They are third seed here in the Redirect Monthly, so they've already outperformed their seeding, really beating Anglo-Roman 2-1 in the upper bracket semi-final. And also, we have to remind you that we're looking down at that losers quarterfinal. There are 4 teams down there currently fighting for 1 spot in the losers final, which we'll see after this game. And that is Anglo-Roman, Bunkbed FC, the Pinchmen, and Outlaws. So those guys are down in the lower bracket fighting it through. The one surprise down there, the Pinchmen from 13th seed, now through to, I believe, top 6 guaranteed. So congratulations to them, playing incredibly well so far. Can they go top 4 by beating Outlaws, our 4th seeded team? Gonna be a tough one, but they've already clearly got some pretty good results on the way here. They've already beaten Bunkbed, who are 5th, so there's an opportunity, but we've got our upper bracket final to sort out first.
And well, we've had plenty of time to hype up this upcoming game. Seed 1 versus Seed 3. A little bit of a change to the script here. Strike or be struck, looking to make that difference. It's time for the upper finals.
It certainly is. Teams in, players getting ready. They are starting their engines. And we will be having this one live for you in just a moment. But I believe before we do, there has been a little bit of a bracket reset, so the hype will calm down for just a second so you can see these absolutely gorgeous cinematic views.
Oh, they are.
I believe it's Manfield, right? I could be wrong with that. I think it is. Manfield we kick things off on normally. The night version, of course.
Yeah, no Shogun this time. You're going to have to settle with, what is it, Stumpy from Team U and Cole from Wish?
Yeah, that's us. That is the two people that you've got in the booth, unfortunately. So it's fine. Hey, give it a couple of years. You know, people won't be saying that anymore. We say hope.
And I love how Hazards works so hard to bring up the production value of the redirect monthlies. Yeah. I mean, the RLCS are going to have to work ever harder if they want to reinitiate that gap between redirect and RLCS. But some things just simply do not change, right? The players randomly leaving the lobby, everything breaking. I mean, that happens every now and again. I would like to point out, nothing to do with us here at RDR, although the matchup, ladies and gentlemen, can finally begin. velocityrll versus Strike or Be Struck. We have kickoff and perhaps the first goal stopped here on the goal line. And oh my goodness, exclamation mark as a name. They hate us.
They do. They absolutely do. The way I'm thinking it is, the way round I think it is, I think exclamation mark is Velocity and Legacy is MSN. That's just what I'm being drawn to, Pegasus.
Motion loves an exclamation mark.
He's got the confirm. Love that for me, as that will be Velocity then moving down that right-hand side. Gets a lovely 50, goes into the corner, pass back. Black Strike should be up, actually. Taken through by Velocity. But the clearance is in from Yonex.
And it's going to drop down here to our exclamation mark. Looking to cause some shock here for the defense. Cutting inside from the corner. Blocked here by Black Strike. You're already seeing double commits come through defensively from Strike or Be Struck, but the same can be said about the Velocity offense. First time on mainstream, they had a little bit of a wobble, of course, with the lobbies before, but now you got to get yourself back up, warmed and ready. There's a spot in the grand finals awaiting.
Oh, and it could be going to Velocity if they finish that one off. Double touches found, but not the goal. As big win by Velocity, moves inside, Motion takes a shot, cleared away, back in by MSN, dropped down, back post, can't find it. Velocity coming through again. It is all pressure from velocityrll right now. Strike or Be Struck. Struggling to get out of their half. They have done so now, but Motion makes a big challenge.
Black Strike sends it low. Legacy to try and find some height instead. It's caught well here by Motion, but Yonex there on the counter, and that was slightly miscommunicated in amongst those two players. It's the first real opportunity for Strike or Be Struck on the counter-attack. Instead, they're going to have to work back from their own half. It's a lone Motion bow on his goal line. Try and make that clearance. Legacy does well to take it to corner. Black Strike goes for the top corner. An option waits, but it's a fantastic save to keep this ball moving.
And it does, and this is the first real time we've seen a lot of pressure coming through from Strike or Be Struck. They are really camped in the velocityrll half. They were. It's a lovely pickup from Black Strike. Left-hand side, cleared away. It's Yonex off the left. It's won there by MSN. It will be dropped down to Velocity, who takes this one through. The bump on the backlines might be enough. Motion can't follow through. Yonex makes a save for Strike or Be Struck.
Legacy does well to catch that 50-50. Might be able to get that second touch. Well saved, though, again. Coming off that goal, and we're past that halfway point now, Rhino. We are yet to see that first goal. It's not like it's been a particularly cagey affair, however. We've had shot after shot, mostly coming in from the expected team velocityrll. Not to say that Strike or Be Struck haven't had their chances. That's a great tip off to the crossbar. Back into the corner yet again. Strike or Be Struck, the warning shots slowly turning into cannon fire.
That one was very, very close indeed. This is a nice pickup by Frantic. Sent clear. Black Strike to collect off the left-hand side. Going to try and get the better of Velocity, but with zero boost, well, you can see what that does as he gets absolutely taken out of the server. Yonex off the left side, looking for the pass back. Going to be a shot on. Velocity going to have to get the clearance. The go-ahead from MSN. Yonex picks it off and doesn't get the second touch, unfortunately. Needed it. And that one goes through into the middle of the goal. Velocity take the lead in the upper semi-final, in the upper final.
They've been waiting for that opportunity for quite some time. One open net was all it took. It was a great challenge to set up that play in the first place, I must say. Rather robbed out of an assist in that occasion, but they're not going to be worrying about those scores. They're looking for that guaranteed prize pool that grand finals will bring you. Frantic. A nice first touch. Way less time here to get themselves a goal in this game. It's become crucial now after that goal from Velocity. Onyx awkward on that backboard. And that will see an empty strike there to Motion to double their lead.
And they have kept them out for so long, right? For 3 minutes of this game, Strike or Be Struck put up a really nice defense. Their communication was on point. They were doing all the right things. But this is what Velocity do to you. They are able just to find something from nothing. They're able to keep shots on target and make you have to move around your net, and that's exactly what they do there. The moment that you make a mistake, Velocity will capitalize, and Motion down that right-hand side, trying to come through. Black Strike wins out. Frantic moving with his teammate. Black Strike will try to finish the job, but Velocity here's the ball away and now tries to spark the counter-attack, but does so a little bit slowly. That's a nice pass up to MSN. Good clearance by Frantic. The Strike or Be Struck can build another attack.
And it's feeling more and more, and time does pass, that this is surely a first game in the favor of Velocity. It would require rather quick strikes from Strike or Be Struck for them to make this comeback. And we have gotten information. That exclamation mark is in fact Darku. So I believe it is Darku, MSN, and Motion making up that Velocity team. And Darku keeps on doing this to me right now. Every single tournament I cast, I swear, Darku just ends up coming in as a substitute, completely thrown off the rosters. But he's such a fantastic player that he can just fit into any single one of these teams, and they can find great success, as they have done in this opening game.
Yeah, they certainly have a 2-0 victory. It's not the most convincing of wins from velocityrll. Well, I mean, can we even call him velocityrll at this point? He's not playing, but Darku, of course, taken to the field, and velocityrll doing a good job. 2-0, as I say. Not the most convincing. We do expect a little bit more maybe from Velocity at this point, but it doesn't quite happen this time. But you got to give credit where it's due. Strike or Be Struck. They kept them out for 3 minutes, as I mentioned earlier. And that's not something that a lot of teams in Redirect Monthlies can say they've done. So one step forwards, they need another couple of steps to get on the same level as Velocity.
Absolutely, and there's some more eyes to watch. Thank you to Kiki, one of our community casters, for Redirect, for sending over that raid. Like you said, Velocity without Velocity. We were talking about that GOAT debate earlier today for Redirect. Yeah. This is Motion's chance to try and slip off his own teammate, replace him with Darku, have an extra championship in his favor. But of course, that requires some work. It's baby steps here. It's only the first game, and despite them being able to stop the shots from the opponent's Strike or Be Struck, I feel like they're going to be coming out with a bit more firepower heading into this second game. But I feel like I always say this, and when something clicks with velocityrll, they're just too darn good. More gears than a 16-wheeler. Let's see where they're up here.
Do big lorries have more gears? That's actually news to me. I didn't know
Oh
about
my
that.
goodness. Watch a video. It is fascinating. So many. Honestly, so many. More gear. It's insane. They've got like a button in it, and it means different things. You click it in, you click it out. I'll show you after stream right now. Honestly, it's amazing. Yeah. They should add it to the game.
They should. Yeah, news to me. All right, I learned something today. I love that. As Legacy, MSN is going to try and bring this one through. It's hit away by Frantic, but Motion intercepting off the right side. Beautiful work from Motion. Double touch Motion! That's what you expect to see when velocityrll take to the stage.
So fast! You cannot keep up with him. He's been faster than lightning in that opening play. And that's so tough to do. Not only to catch yourself on that wall, to be facing in the correct direction, to use all that momentum for that follow-up double, all without using all your boost. And it is just automatic for players like Motion. I spoke about Strike or Be Struck having a better chance in this second game, and the scoreline's reset, but velocityrll are the team with the clear improvements.
Automatic, systematic, hydromatic. he is grease lightning as MSN gets on the board as well. Top right corner, velocityrll double their lead. And where Strike or Be Struck kept them out for 3 minutes in that first game, this second game, well, it hasn't quite started as well for them. And maybe you just get the feeling that velocityrll, whether they had nerves in that first game of being on stream or whatever it happened to be, they are shaken now. And it's 3 goals in a minute.
It's unbelievable how they are just able to consistently do this, right? We see them in that first game, you're like, yeah, this team is strong. This very much looks like a team that could go on and win the whole monthly if they would like. Like, surely it doesn't get much better than this. Second game, it gets better than this. Black Strike shot off, and of course, not allowing that 1 goal. Sheets stay clean for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, velocityrll, they're going to be questioning, is there a potential for a perfect sweep? Of course, it is very early stages to even start to suggest that, but if I'm not presenting storylines as a caster, then what am I doing? Good save by Durku. Gonna send this one away. Spent a lot of this season in APAC, of course, Durku, so me and you have seen a fair bit of him, Pegasus, in the RLCS season, as we now obviously are just into the... Well, I guess it is technically the off-season. We've still got LCQs to come, but at the end of the day, we are... We don't expect to see those in APAC, let's put it that way, unless VP do something special. Either way, backboard doubles, there we go! No perfect sweep. Strike or Be Struck, get a goal back.
That's how you respond. If they're going to hit you with those double taps, throw it right back. Frantic, it was another really awkward one there, and he somehow had his flip. Was that a flip reset for that first touch? There were 2 options on that backboard as well. It's not to say that velocityrll left it undefended. Just found that little bit of a gap, and it's going to be the smallest of margins if you want to try and beat velocityrll. Second opportunities coming in quick here off the kickoff. Velocity wants to defend for the time being.
For the time being, as motion now into the corner, cleared away by MSN, brought through by Onyx, and a little bit of belief now starting to be shown by Strike or Be Struck. Getting that first goal is important against these kinds of big teams. They are going to have to go back and pick up boost, which allows velocityrll to take some liberties, take some space. It will be dealt with relatively easily by Strike or Be Struck. They, after going 3 goals down, they have started to get back into the game.
Listen, sometimes it takes quite a lot for people to be kicked into gear. For me, it's, 12 hours away from the assignment due dates. For them, it's second game, facing a potential sweep and 3 goals behind. But, as long as you're able to pick yourself up rather quickly, who knows, we could see something great on the cards here in this second game. They are all bunched up in the attack, however. That's going to be an overcommit, and quick on the counter will be velocityrll. MSN looking to take on that second touch, but ultimately unable to find the target. That's a missed opportunity coming off that first touch.
Yeah, there is. And, of course, bringing up first touch. Got to talk about Chalk's cast and the entire event happening right now in Rocket League. I hope everyone has voted and is part of the relevant rosters. I think I saw Chalk's cast doing quite well as far as the player kind of the amount of players that picked them, let's say. But hang on a moment, I don't know why I'm talking about other things in the game when this one is starting to heat up. 1 minute 20 seconds, and Strike or Be Struck back within 1.
And they've kept it close now. It required a little bit of late action. Only 3 goals happening in that first minute for Velocity. They're on a bit of a drought as it stands. Strike or Be Struck, at the moment, actually looking like that stronger team. They've got all the momentum in their favour, although not much time on the clock to really work on it. Motion caught in the corner. It's a nice initial cat. They'll look to dribble and take that one forward. Frantic with a good block. Black Strike is well trying to defend that halfway line, but slowly but surely progress made by Velocity, immediately shot down by the counter of Onyx, the only non-UK participant in this matchup. Really looking to make his moment. Bumps coming in here from Velocity, but overall, that's just ended up in an overcommit and a chance for Frantic to make it equal. What a save by MSN.
And a really important save at that. 40 seconds to go. velocityrll, they are being pushed back quite far, but they've got a chance down the other end. Onyx saves onto the post. No overcommit. Oh, no! Oh, Durku couldn't get out the way of that shot. That was 4-2. Wrapped up in a gift box. But unfortunately, Durku manages to make the save against his own teammate. That's well, if they don't lose this game, it's fine. But Pegasus, that's not going to be one he'll want to watch back. He rectifies that mistake though.
Yeah, how do you feel about that now? I feel like he's listening to the stream, perhaps. Darky heard you calling him out immediately. Clip reset right on your head top, and well, Strike will be Struck's chances went down quite dramatically after that one found the back of the net, but it was rather close. Fair play to Strike will be Struck. If they do manage to pick up on this momentum that they've been able to grab in this second game, who knows? Potential reverse sweep on the cards, perhaps, Rhino, for the third sweep.
Hey, say it quietly. Say it quietly. But you do hear rumblings if you listen closely enough. As velocityrll, as we said, they do take that game. But if you take away the first minute of that game, yeah, if my grandmother had wheels, she'd have been a bike. But if you take away the first minute of that game, I mean, Velocity lost 2-1 to Strike or Be Struck. So there is cause for concern for velocityrll right now. But that's how we got things underway. I feel like we might have brushed past that goal a little bit too quickly, because that little motion one was absolutely beautiful.
It really was, and it was longer than the replay as well. It was all that touch beforehand, catching himself on the sidewall and then picking it up right afterwards. That is a touch of class, but they did, like you say, run out of a bit of steam after that first minute. They got themselves that goal difference, and they were like, okay, let's sit back. We'll take some shots. They took a bit too many, in fact. Strike will be Struck hadn't really had those chances in the final third until that second game. I believe they had 3 shots total in game 1. And we learned very, very quickly, Rhino, but you cannot give them that space, because once they are in the final third, no matter how long it takes them to get there, they're pretty blooming dangerous.
Dangerous, clinical, they will finish their dinner absolutely every single time. So I think Velocity will realize that now. I think they've come to that conclusion themselves that, okay, they're actually, you know, their shooting percentages are up. They're actually playing pretty well right now. So we'll see if they give them those kinds of opportunities. But we are getting into game number 3, velocityrll, with 3 opportunities to go through into the grand final. Will they take the first one, though? 10 seconds in. And there's an opportunity already here for Durku. Motion, bottom right corner. Yonex makes a save.
And this one will be thrown right back into that blue half. Bumps coming in, though. Prevent the individual effort. Motion off the backboard. It's on target. What a save from Frantic. And my goodness, I thought we were out yet again for a huge start here. For velocityrll, they've been held to 0 goals past 30 seconds. That's already huge improvements for Strike will be Struck. Not to say, however, that ball hasn't been firmly planted in their third. There it is again. Motion back on, blocked here by Yonex, but a low boost defense will not transition into that counter.
That was a lovely little improvised musty from Durku as well, being able to flick that one into the corner. That's an opportunity. Motion takes it through. Had a lot of boost to work with. Yonex didn't. But he still wins the 1v1, and Strike or Be Struck will be able to clear their lines. Frantic playing it through. Motion a bit awkward, but eventually MSN will make sure to get on the end of this, send it into the corner. Gets the 100 boost as well. No wasted motion, but Black Strike there to send it away for his side.
Yonex as well to get that one off the backboard. Frantic, though, coming in at that awkward angle. It's just going to be challenged by Motion and MSN as well. Darku beaten as well. Strike or Be Struck have definitely increased their bravery as time has gone on. Whether that's the case of have nothing left to lose now they're down 2 games, or just getting a better feel of the series, well, you'll have to ask them. But either way, definitely increasing their chances of at least getting a game out of this series. Though Motion shot dangerous. Yonex saves, follows up, comes in, and MSN will open up the score.
Yeah, it's funny with velocityrll because it always feels like there's just another player when you're in these moments, right? You play it off the backboard, there's a second player to follow in. Yeah, it feels that way sometimes because you've always got just one more player who's going to try and make that play off the backboard at any given time. And on that occasion, it was an opportunity there for velocityrll to finish the job, and they do just that. Motion, he's got 3 in front of him, gets past the first. Frantic saves onto the sidewall, and Durku wasn't 100% sure about going for that, so decides to back away. Now Durku off the ceiling, sends it long. MSN, it's a 50 onto Frantic. Demo from Motion. There's not really much more that can be said here for the velocity attack.
Yonex trying to create something for himself at corner. Also going to be more used as a follow-up play, though. Motion does well to block. Zero boost, able to pick up that corner to take some space, and Darku will grab that second goal. You spoke about it at times feeling like a 4v3. Perhaps Velocity is on the pitch. They were certainly outnumbered in this attack. Strike will be struck. Again, having to deal with that 2-goal deficit. Much less time left on the clock as well, although it's only a halfway point.
Yeah, but it's just a perfect pinch across, isn't it? It's got enough pace that it's going to get to the back post player, but it's got too much pace for the defending, for the goalkeeper, essentially, right? So Frantic is just going to score down the other end and completely nullify that goal as, I mean, just a couple of 50s, one in the midfield, and suddenly you've got an opportunity. So strike will be struck, back within one, and they strike back.
It was an intricate play. It was a lot of quick decisions that had to be made as it was just ping-ponging between those three strike-or-be-struck players. And, well, things certainly are getting frantic. Player of the very same name has stepped up as this game has progressed. That's going to be a nice setup play. Double commit coming in. It does eventually find the back of the net. And it had to, otherwise that was surely a counter. That was surely a 2-goal difference. Instead, high risk, high reward. You feel the latter. This is back to equality.
You feel like if Motion had just like 12 more boosts there, just one small boost pad, he would have been able to get up for that and get a hand to it. But instead, has to settle for sending it into his own net. Now this ball at the side. Motion sends it away. Yonex, the ball back middle, but Frantic, awkward, still manages to make a connection into the middle. Motion gets the clearance, and Blackstrike has been taken out of the play as well. 100 boost stolen by MSN. There's no push forwards from Durku, so there's a chance here. Frantic looking for the bump on the back lines. Durku not going to fall for it, makes the save.
We're entering that period of play where another goal for velocityrll could be the qualification into the grand final. Strike will be struck. Still fighting to gain that one game to try and initiate that reverse sweep. Yonex 40 could have had that chance, was knocked right off. It's going to be Motion again. Flip reset, takes it low. Demos come out, but through the smoke screen, Yonex able to get that first clearance. Reset off the ceiling. Looked for another one off the ball. Unfortunately, that one will dribble its way away. And it's going to be Blackstrike lone on an island in his own corner. Three players looking to pass between each other, but that is a fantastic reading of the play and potentially the start of something better.
Oh, but the demo on the back lines. Motion just has to get this on target. Blackstrike makes it back. MSN, backboard, and sent away by Yonex. Both teams very, very close now. This one comes through. Durku doesn't get much. Motion tries to play it into the middle. Blackstrike gets the ball taken away from him. MSN, can he find the pass? Back post, anyone there? No, there is not. 25 seconds remaining. It's still all square. Motion off the right side. Has he got the magic? Durku, ball high. MSN coming through to challenge. Yonex is there first. Durku off the side wall. Blackstrike will shepherd it away.
Velocity still looking to send. Strike will be struck to the Piranhas in the lower finals. As it stands, there will be bunk bed. 99 strike will be struck. velocityrll return to the grand finals.
I mean, that's just a wonderful play from Durku, showing his technical prowess as he has done all season long. And 6 seconds remain, and you're not going to win with that kind of kickoff strike or be struck. It's not happened for them. The clearance isn't good enough. Ball hits the floor, and velocityrll continue sweeping teams in the Redirect Monthly. It's what they do best, Figures.
Absolutely. You can say I called it early there. 5 seconds left. The kickoff still left to be played, but I've seen it too many times before. With that club name, velocityrll, you see them in that position. They simply do not choke there. It's just not in their history. It's just not in their culture. Their culture is taking the full £70 by the end of the day. But for now, they can settle with the fact they've guaranteed themselves 30, and that strike or be struck have been struck to those lower finals.
Yeah, I mean, they set the ultimatum out with their team name right from the beginning, right? Either they strike or be struck. It's very simple, and unfortunately, it was the latter for them this time. As you can see down there, the winner is TTV/velocityrll. A little bit of a plug for himself as well. Why not? As the game is the game. The upper finals done. One team locked into the grand finals, but big assist, it makes 2 to tango. We've got the lower brackets final coming up very shortly.
And it's going to be tough to take down velocityrll. Of course, they are going to have that game in hand. The grand finals being a best of 7 format. Weighted, of course, to the team qualifying through the uppers. That's Velocity this time. It's going to be one of 3 options. Bunkbed FC, Outlaws, or, of course, the very own Strike or Be Struck. Playing against them in that grand. For now, it was a rather one-sided affair in the uppers, but a rematch can come sweet. In affair in the favor of velocityrll, they will return to the grand finals. Last monthly, they did have to deal with a rematch after the team they took down returned to that spot for the grand final. Strike will be struck are very much going to look to repeat that feat. They come off the back of that sweep, and well, Outlaws come off the back of quite a tough series themselves, Rhino.
I mean, that is an understatement. Bunkbed FC, don't be deterred by their name. Dreamy Nation Shark, a fantastic roster in their own right, but dismissed by this Outlaws roster to get to the losers final. Top 3 locked in, but both of these teams want to make sure that they are getting to that grand final with a chance of winning that £70. And here you see it. It's Strike or Be Struck versus Outlaws in our lower bracket final.
A story of revenge, or story of perhaps some underdogs here on the side of Outlaws, at least if we look at the seeding, but I feel like the seeding's done them fairly harshly. Khan, been one of those legends of the Redirect monthlies. We spoke about the potential GOATs when we look at the players listed on velocityrll. Khan is certainly part of that pedigree.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are a couple of players, there are a couple of teams that you look at when you look at the past Redirect monthlies and you go, they are what make up this community, this group of teams, this group of players that play in these tournaments. Khan, you're absolutely right, one of them. I think Safix is starting to become one of those players as well, has been getting more and more involved in these kinds of tournaments. So very, very happy to see both of them taking to the field. Against Strike or Be Struck, a brand new, fresh-faced roster, seed number 3 of the entire event. So anything could really happen in this lower bracket final, and I'm very excited to find out exactly what does go down on the field.
Absolutely. Strike will be struck as well. They're going to be hungry. They've had a little bit of a break here. Outlaws coming off the back of what must have been quite a fatiguing series, and you don't say that very often for these best of threes. But we got to look over on the hype chamber during the break screen, the fantastic stream that Kiki was running over, of course, one of our community casters here for Redirect. And I mean, right now, that just goes to prove how much of a great addition these community casters are. They are not only fantastic, but they're giving us coverages of games that you would have completely missed out on.
Yeah, and it's almost like more people casting Rocket League isn't a bad thing for the esport and should actually be encouraged and supported by everybody involved. Oh, couldn't imagine who that's particularly targeted at. But we are ready for this game coming up. It's the lower bracket final of the Redirect Monthly 24. Strike or Be Struck versus Outlaws. Seed 3 versus Seed 4. It is game time, Pegasus. Let's get it on!
Will Strike or Be Struck be struck twice, or will it be Khan and his Great Danes for Outlaws to earn their spots in the grand finals from the lowers? We already know that £30 will be guaranteed for the winner of this series, and of course, a shot at the full 70. A £100 prize pool over here in the Redirect monthlies, straight out the pocket of RDR Hazza, who is your admin, your producer, your spectator as well, and just an absolute legend all round. The lower finals, ladies and gentlemen, is underway.
I don't think I've ever seen a man wear as many hats as RDR Hazza does, to be honest with you. He does absolutely everything. The next thing on the list is to be a caster, Hazza, I think, as you know, just going to throw that one into the universe. Either way, Frantic down the right-hand side. Going to try and pick this one up. Does get the boost steal as well. Going to try and get there first. But HP sends it away, and now Safix off the right-hand side. Wants to try and follow through. Ball into the middle. Khan has to recover. Blackstrike sends away.
Yonex is bumped off the play there by Khan. Slight double commits coming in, but it's bailed away well to allow Safix to have that forward space. Khan's low 50. Did manage to beat the man, but just wasn't within the confines of that post-first goal. Not going to come quite yet. We've had a few games today that have had those quick starts. Of course, I think back to 3 goals in the first minute of Game 2 of the upper finals. Not reaching that same point, but I'm sure that one will do the job here for Outlaws.
Yeah, you certainly will. Can't try and get there, but that little touch from Safix is enough to take it away from the Strike or Be Struck defense. and finished beautifully by Outlaws. I mentioned earlier that Strike will be Struck are ranked 3, Outlaws are ranked 4. It's kind of irrelevant when you actually look at it because it's 21-45 versus 21-40. These two teams are so close, so evenly matched. Ranking doesn't really come into it. It's all about how well you play on the day. And right now, Outlaws are taking the advantage.
I must say, I'm having a look amongst these players. Really strong players in amongst their own rights. But Suffix having Nixus before the name, that's an expectation set now. I better see some freestyles coming out here in this upcoming series if he wants to keep that title, of course. Otherwise, I'm sure I can ring them up and they'll ignore it.
So, nice little flex. That's a nice little flex for you. As yeah, I mean, it is an interesting decision to kind of broadcast that to the world, Suffix. But as you say, we know that he lives up to that expectation, Pegasus, don't we? We know that he's got it in his locker to make those unbelievable 1v1, those unbelievable technical plays. Not seen one yet, but hey, if motion in the previous game is anything to go by, it shan't be long. Opportunity misses wide and HP recovers.
Yonex just looking to chase this one back. Mid boost going to their favor. HP's pre-jump doesn't quite make a connection, but still finding himself high. No players there. Has options to demo off the pitch. All three stay on, and it's a rather lockdown defense here from Strike Be Struck. I felt like Outlaws had some time in that final third, but with no real sense of danger for the defense.
Ooh. It's a big cut in the midfield. Oh, Khan goes by. There's a chance here for Black Strike pass to Frantic. Top left corner. And the minute that this ball gets missed on the backboard, I think it was by Khan, you just knew there was danger. You knew there was trouble in the air. And Strike or Be Struck, well, they certainly do strike.
And I love a cherry pick like that. Requires perfect communication. You have to be able to react really quickly. And of course, it is a part of the redirect family. Khan taking this one high off the corner, doesn't settle for a flip reset. Instead, looks to leave it for Suffix. HP is sat really deep on that play, which has just allowed a possession of Strike or B-Stroke. They've dribbled it forward. Frantic is knocked right on off, but they're so quick at just returning to the ball. And that one somehow sneaks its way in the back corner. Just do not give up.
You talked about in the upper bracket final, maybe in game 3, that Frantic had really started to step up against his opposition, against velocityrll. And we're seeing it again. Frantic being the man who Strike or Be Struck are relying on to get that ball across the goal line. Doing great work there off the left-hand wall. Gets a touch, gets a finish, and it's quick as well. Going to be dangerous now for Outlaws. They took the lead. The game's been turned on his head, but double commits like that from Strike or Be Struck are going to give Outlaws a lot of confidence.
And it's going to be Yonex up tight. HP looking for options in the corner. Suffix was somehow able to struggle his way through the defense. Khan has it from corner to corner. That dribble, however, just going to meet a car of a Strike or Be Struck defender. And so far, like you mentioned, really impressed by this improvement from Strike or Be Struck. I feel like it's so easy to just completely reset after you are swept by the end of the series, but you still want to keep those positives that you're able to build up. It's been selective here from Strike or Be Struck, and that's very much played into their favor.
Certainly has. Absolutely. And now HP coming off the side gets a bump as well. Yonex to make the clearance, make the save, trying to get through his Khan. Ball up into the air, Frantic dropping it down. Yonex going through again. HP, bit of a go ahead, pass into the corner, chance for Khan. He goes over the bar, and you just wonder if that one had been shot a little bit lower. Would we be talking about a tie ball game right now? 40 seconds left. Maybe we still could be. Khan takes a shot. Yonex sends it away into the corner.
Suffix gets it off that backboard. Khan finds the angle, but Frantic sees through it as well. It's a great opening save. More required, and HP will bring the game back to equal. It felt like it was a rather long time coming. It was a beautiful pinch there from Suffix off that corner. Just having that bit of space away from the goal line, but not too far to beat out the Outlaws attacker.
Absolutely, and I mentioned it earlier. We almost were talking about a tie ball game before that one went in. But Outlaws fight back. Might all be for naught as this ball comes through. Black Strike won't get the boost steal, but the bump comes through from Frantic. It might not be enough. The attack's still in from Outlaws, but the turnaround, Yonex up into the air. He's got Frantic supporting. He gets the reset. He lets it drop. Outlaws save, and we might have OT in game 1. Not just yet. Black Strike still with it in the air. Can't do anything with it, and we will have OT.
And Outlaws used to a long OT, used to one where they'll have to fight for the entire potential added 2, 3, even more perhaps minutes here. But it can bring, although Strike will be struck to just get it done early. It's a quick attack, and 3 players bunched up in that corner as well of Outlaws. They've been able to separate themselves. Although still lacking that bit of firepower in that counter-attack. It's all going to be Frantic. Down to Yonex. Backboard available. They don't get a read, but Yonex does. It's off. And Outlaws survive a few seconds longer. First 30 seconds. Fireworks in OT.
Absolutely. The pass through. Khan pops the ball into the air. It will be Frantic to take it away. Khan tries to make it difficult for him, but Frantic still has possession. The clearance away through from Safix. Yonex will now collect one by Safix. Khan trying to challenge HP. He's awkward, but he still manages to get the backflip and make the save. Double commit from Outlaws. Could cause problems, but HP will be given time and space and the clearance.
Strike blocked off there by Safix. HP was really awkward heading up to that ball, and that's ended up being an absolute treat for Yonex to come off the ceiling. Backball was available, but Khan didn't let the ball get that deep in the first place. Already past that minute point. That's a deep run, though still wide. Frantic and Khan going to be the 2 players chasing. Frantic gets the first touch and the follow-ups as well to make that forward space. But now HP again blocked off by Yonex. It's been excellent reading of the play so far from the Strike will be struck players, and it's been all about that midfield so far. It's felt like this blue side has run every single one of those battles. It's why they've got consistent offense and why Outlaws have been scrambling for the counters.
Certainly is. Now this pass inside. Stolen by Yonex. Still moving forwards, though, from the Outlaws side. Sidewall, HP into the middle. Frantic sent it to the sidewall. Yonex down the right. Tries to get one through. Black Strike now going to go up next. He's not got a lot of boost to work with. Gets the reset, gets the shot. There is one there. It's off the crossbar. The Striker will be struck so close to seeing game 1 out. They might do now, but HP stands like a wall in the net. Says you shall not pass.
Frantic sidewall as well, and Safix has the perfect read off the back of it. More time, though, spent in this orange third. Comes to a rather brief end. That's a lovely outfield pass to Frantic. Shot, though, not going to be challenging these Outlaws defenders. Yonex back on, showing themselves as the real gunslingers with the amount of shots they've had against them. Frantic is blocked off yet again. And whilst the time spent has certainly had that fear factor, the shots haven't. And sometimes it requires magic. Sometimes it requires madness. It's madness from HP. Clears himself off on the corner, and Strike will be struck. Will strike first.
I mean, there will, of course, be questions be asked, because that one felt like it was an easy clearance for HP on the backboard. Ball just bobbled beyond him. He could not recover, so HP going to be looking back at that one in anger, you would expect. But it all started so well for Outlaws, only for them to be fought back. There's that cherry pick you were talking about earlier, Pegasus. A beautiful goal from Strike or Be Struck. And then this from Frantic as well. So quick, so eager to get involved in the play, and does just that. There was a response, but in the end, Strike or Be Struck were not to be denied. And it's, I mean, you said it perfectly. It was just a moment of madness coming through from HP.
And actually, looking back through those replays, all 3 goals from Strike or Be Struck were moments of madness from Outlaws, but that's your reward for getting constant in offense. You know, the probabilities are rather low that the players of this level are going to make mistakes like that, but throw shot after shot after shot, eventually it's going to even out a little bit, and those mistakes will come through. It just felt like too much time there given to Strike or Be Struck in that final third, and Outlaws looked solid throughout, but just a few mistakes too many. Whereas when you look at the goals that Outlaws were able to grab, Rhino, they were excellent. They were well worked, not really coming from defensive errors, but they've had to work that bit harder to get those opportunities in the first place.
Yeah, and that's kind of the interesting thing. I would like to see Strike or Be Struck be able to it sounds really harsh to say, but make something of their own. As you say, Outlaws have been giving them a lot of their opportunities, and they have been taking advantage of them. That is something that not every team is able to do. So when they do get given that moment, there is a player there to capitalize. However, as you rightly say, Outlaws, their team play has been excellent. Their offense, when they've got it rolling, has been so good. And speaking of good offense, Yonix getting the reset. Backboard, surely there's a teammate. Blackstrike can't get across.
And it feels like when it's Outlaws playing, it's all about those final thirds, whether it's their own or their opponents, where they'll piece themselves together really nicely. But Strike or be Struck, control the midfield, control the game. There's an opener. They're in charge yet again.
Certainly do, and it's that man again. Continuing to be the sharpshooter for the Strike or be Struck roster. Frantic gets another goal. And with still 4 minutes 12 on the clock, there is still plenty of time. But Outlaws are going to be starting to get a little bit concerned now. Of course, they were able to get back into that game towards the end of game number 1. But as you rightly said, Strike or be Struck, they're not making too many mistakes. They're not giving Outlaws too much space. Blackstrike, thank you very much for not proving my point. You are a gentleman and a scholar. This one now on the far side. The ball will cross. And yeah, that one looks a little bit dangerous, but they will see it out.
I'll say, we've had multiple shaky opportunities there in the corners where Strike or be Struck a little bit tied together. It was a little bit awkward between them, but ultimately they do survive, and that is all that counts. The only stat being the goals that matter at the end of the day. HP gets that clearance. Yonix as well to get that first strike high infield. Frantic had to dodge his own teammate to get that touch. And made it look calculated. Demo's coming through. That one's off the crossbar, but HP, that should be a chance on net. That's wasteful.
It certainly is for the moment. The clearance will come through. With 3 minutes left on the clock, Outlaws still being pushed back, but they have a bit of offense now. Yonix not going to be able to get there. Blackstrike does send it away. He's a second touch as well. Wins the 50. That's good enough. Khan onto the sidewall. Yonix across. It's cut out by HP. It's Frantic now, taking it through on the left-hand side. Backboard, going to be found. Chance for Blackstrike, but he gets too much of a cut on it, and it goes wide of the right-hand post.
Graphics on. Yonix will be able to block. Frantic, awkward in that corner, but Blackstrike is going to have to work back again from his own third. Outlaws have done well to shut down this game a little bit more compared to what we saw certainly in that OT at the end of game 1. It's those questions we said before. They need to be able to create something themselves. They really need to get a hold of this game. Possession still not being in their favors. It's felt like a very call or response type of series where Strike or be Struck have been calling all the shots. Yonix with the flip reset takes it over one, wants to bump for second. Blackstrike too awkward to find a target.
Yeah, but Frantic just gonna leave that one for Khan. A couple of fakes, a couple of misses as well. That one will be a chance for Safix. He's hit the crossbar. And we talked earlier about wasteful plays. We mentioned the Outlaws just feel that little bit worse in front of goal this game. And there is no better example of that than that missed Safix opportunity right there. 1.5 minutes still to go. Outlaws chasing the lead.
Khan back on, and again, we know what Khan and Safix are capable of. They are former champions of the Redirect Monthlies, and they've been teamed for quite some time as well. Think back to teams like Gadalians during the RLCS. So we know that they've got it in their locker. You can already get a sense for that chemistry, but when it comes to finishing your dinner, Outlaws just simply are not wolfing it down. Strike will be Struck looking dangerous yet again in the 6-yard box, but Outlaws, amongst all the chaos, managed to see themselves through.
That's a great catch by Khan. Great flick past another. There's a demo on the back lines. That is better. That is exactly what we want to see from Outlaws. The catch, picture perfect. The play is beautiful, but it's that demo right there from Safix that really ties it all in a neat little bow. Outlaws back level 1-1.
And it comes late into the game. Strike will be Struck. Likely thought they had that one in their hands. Kickoff smoke coming quick. And you do not want to concede immediately after scoring yourself. The longer it lasts, the more I would say momentum does swing to the favor of the team That struck most recent. Ronzi coming through all across the pitch, but the ceiling will deny that extra bit of space. Can't block off in the corner. Strike or be struck. Have awoken yet again with that offensive prowess, which has been characteristic of them this entire series. Demos coming through. That has felt like a little bit of an increase in character here in Outlaws' gameplay. Well, this one won't save them. It's a double commit vote from Strike or be struck. A low boost offense from Outlaws as well. They can't generate the power, but they can initiate that high press. It's that open for Frantic. It's wide, 0 seconds. All in the box of Outlaws, but HP wants to take it from his own box. Coast to coast, it's not enough. We enter OT yet again.
And this is where you imagine Strike or be struck are going to be feeling confident. And Black Strike just takes it away. When you win that first OT, you do get the impression that obviously you've got more ice, got more in the tank in those moments. This is going to be a chance for Black Strike. Khan gets there so quickly. Didn't have a lot of boost to work with, but still managed to make the play. A couple of whiffs coming through in the corner. Black Strike sends it away. Double commit. Yonix had to react quickly and did. Outlaws still with possession and with the boost advantage as well from what I can see. It's a chance at the corner. Is there a man at the back post? There is not. But Strike or be struck, they are being absolutely penned into their half right now.
Rantic back on, and it was a rare moment where it felt like Outlaws had sustained pressure. It was like it's always a little bit of a quick burning flame whenever they find themselves in that blue half, although getting over a new leaf in this OT, and now it's Strike or be struck that have been reliant on these counterattacks, which have been hard to form. More control in the midfield, although that one finds inside space. Yonix isn't quite able to get that read. Now it's Khan on the counter. Safix got a read. He's got Nexus in the name. Khan will find the target, and it just about couldn't squeak its way through.
Yeah, closest anyone's come really in OT so far. That's a miss. It's off the crossbar. They need to get back in time. This is not good for Strike or be struck. And it will be Khan who answers the call. Black Strike, a big whiff there. And from that moment, you just felt like it was going to drop for Outlaws, and did. A minute and a half played in OT. And we go from a best of 5 to a best of 3, Pegasus. It's a big win there for not velocityrll.
Ice melted by Outlaws on fire in that OT. I felt like I was watching a completely different roster. There was more space in that final third. They looked a little bit more connected, which you would honestly expect from these 3 players in the first place. And for once, it was Sobs in the defense, living up to the name. I feel like they were crying at the end of that one.
Really did. I mean, it was just so much pressure. I'm sure you feel this too, that as soon as that OT started, it felt like it was all Outlaws. They had so much possession. They had so much field position, field domination, all of the kind of key things you need in that overtime to just kind of strangle, make it feel suffocating in their own back lines for the side of Strike or be struck. And eventually, if you do that for long enough, you're going to find a way through, and that's exactly what Outlaws did. They found a way through. They got them to make that mistake. That was enough. So 1-1 on the series going into game number 3. One team is going to take series point, but you wouldn't like to predict who it is. Both of these teams feeling very, very even.
Well, the better you play, the more goals you score, the more games you win. The Outlaws' bounty is certainly going to increase, and Strike or be struck have to be living up to that, because if Outlaws are going to get stronger, if they're able to beat you out in that second game, here's a little bit of a response from yourself. You can't fall back to old habits. How you played in game 1 isn't going to be enough to win that third game, because frankly, in that second game, Rhino, it felt like they played like how they did in that game 1. Really, really active in the midfield, looking to try and catch as many loose balls as possible, and that was a really last-minute join from one of the Strike or be struck players. But don't worry, no false starts. Game 3 is underway.
Yeah, we've been in Rocket League long enough, Pegasus, to know that when you see that happen, you do get a little bit concerned. You do get a little bit shaky in the knees, but that's okay. We have got everyone in the lobby and we're ready to go. Khan off the left-hand side. Welcome back to the lobby. Goodness gracious me. 1-0 Outlaws.
Well, that's a way to get yourself back in the action. A cheeky little flip reset to beat all three. It's a 3v3 playlist. It's a 3v3 monthly. For Khan, it's a 1v3 in that position.
Yeah, absolutely. The Suffix off the left-hand side. We'll try and bring this one through. Yonex, big demo onto HP. All into the middle. Clearance away by Blackstrike. Yonex going to try and bring this one through. HP, big interception. Plays it forwards. Backboard. Who's there? Oh, there is going to be one. Frantic does enough to push the ball away. Now Yonex on the right-hand side. Suffix pops the ball high. Blackstrike reset. Can't get around. Even with the demo, strike or be struck, it's not the most cerebral of attacks. And they'll be forced back to halfway.
Outlaws look to play it out their own defense. Suffix will catch it in the corner. Zero boost, zero problems. Off the crossbar. King card is there. A second goal for Outlaws. The beasts have awoken. The legend has returned. Khan on for a hat-trick.
Yeah, absolutely. Raining more shots down than onto the Great Wall of China. As Khan able to make that one through. And now there's an opportunity. HP does send it away. Yonex puts it back. HP once again there with the save. Frantic into the middle. 2-0 to Outlaws. This is the first time this whole series we've seen a lead of 2 or more goals. And they're looking to extend as well. Ball into the corner. Blackstrike clears away. He's got Frantic moving forwards. The demo doesn't come in. And Outlaws should be able to recover and do.
HP, oh, that's an awkward touch. It goes backwards. Doesn't find a teammate. Blue cars there. Piranha's lurking around the box. Yonex is going to have to bail away from that position. Actually seals the boost away from his teammate. The positions just decide themselves. Khan vote. Matches offensive efforts. There's something off in defense as well. Frantic is bumped off. It's plenty of space for Outlaws just to pass it about amongst themselves. Frantic doesn't have much to go up for this ball. That's why Blackstrike felt like it was his time to shine there in the air. Double commit coming through. Strike will be struck. Have somehow survived and got this ball forward, but it's looking a little bit shakier than usual.
Yeah, but it could all change with a goal for strike or be struck. The game's turn on a dime. If they are able to find the next goal, there's still 2.5 minutes left of this game. There's still plenty of work to be done. Ooh. And there it is. Frantic, once again, being the man to score for strike or be struck. It's a good pickup from Yonex in the middle. No one from Outlaws expected it. And they are back within 1. And as I said, the tide feels like it could turn now.
And they'll be looking to prove you right straight off the kickoff. Like I said, you just do not want to concede straight away afterwards. The last one, what a redirection from Frantic. It's on target, but it's saved. And Blackstrikes, 2 follow-up opportunities simply are not enough. They're going to have to work a little bit harder than that if they want this match back to equal, especially if Outlaws can find a 3rd goal from this charge. But my goodness, electric straight out the gate. Strike will be struck out, wasting no time.
Absolutely not, and why should they? Khan's going to be given a chance here. It's wide. He tries for the pass back. It's Frantic to send it away. It's Yonex now. He goes by. Suffix gets it over the top. The save can't be found. Suffix with a little dink that just nestles under the crossbar. Outlaws re-find their 2-goal lead.
That is the definition of when you try your best and you do not succeed. There was some insane saves there in the build-up for strike will be struck, but ultimately lowering the boost department, the economy favoring Outlaws, and just allowed them to just grind them down over time. And that's something that was missing in that opening game. They couldn't grind down their opponents. It was always just one shot, rotate back to defense, give strike or be struck their turn. Now they're snatching the controller. Now they're taking control, and now they're seeing success.
They are. Khan over into the corner. Blackstrike sends it up onto the side wall. Frantic, he's been a sharpshooter today. This one does go high as Khan gets through. It's an empty net to aim at. And HP able to fire that one into the top right corner. Great work from Outlaws. The fluid motion from back to front, from defense to offense. Outlaws, a 3-goal lead now.
And not only do you have to win this series, Rhino, you have to be prepared to take the top dogs. You have to be prepared to take on velocityrll. You can't just win this game. You need to do it in convincing fashion that people are going to believe in you when it comes to that grand finals, when you are weighted behind them. With the way Outlaws have continuously improved and been more intelligent in their plays, they look like they could be that worthy opponent. Late action coming in here for Strike will be struck, but ultimately Outlaws seem like they have this third game in hand.
Yeah, they really do. HP on the left-hand side. Frantic tries to get the interception. Ball just fades out in the midfield. Khan off the corner. Be Safix to keep it there, and maybe a little bit of time management coming through from Outlaws. Just taking a few seconds off the clock, 20 seconds. They haven't got much more to remove. It's HP off that right side. Safix will drive it forwards. Yonix doesn't have any boost. He does pick up the 100 now, but with 10 seconds and 3 goals to find Pegasus, it will be a grand final point for Outlaws.
Ooh. Ran its course. No chances here in the third, and Outlaws, they've just looked better and better and better. Aged like a fine wine throughout this series, and honestly, throughout this tournament. They're in the lowers for a reason here. They did get a loss earlier in the day, and so far they look like they would be that deserved team in the grand finals there. This is the first time I really feel like there's been a sizable gap between these two teams.
Yeah, I mean, Outlaws kind of went into the lower bracket in a very, very surprise game in the winners round 2 to the Pinchman. But since then, they have been pretty much perfect, not losing a single game until the lower bracket semi-final, where they did lose 1 game to Bunkbed FC. But they have started to look more like the Outlaws that we know we should be expecting from this roster. We should be expecting from this team. Khan, HP, Safix. If you've been around Rocket League for more than 5 minutes, you know these players. So they're doing very well. They've got a real opportunity to get to that grand final now. Strike or be struck. I think that's the worst we've seen them play today. I was really concerned. I did not like that at all. And they really need to find something different, something new in this next game.
And I spoke about it before that game began, where if Outlaws were going to step it up a gear, Strike or Be Struck had to match it. And it felt like Outlaws simply did it again. And Strike or Be Struck kind of stalled. They panicked in that third game. They were not prepared for Outlaws to simply be that good. They found their footing. And now that momentum is in their favor, it's going to be such a hard train to derail now, especially with them on match point. But Frantic will certainly try his best. He's always been the hero for Strike or Be Struck, but he's always been just that shy of a final victory. Could this be the difference?
It could be. I mean, you were talking about derailing. That's like one wheel of a massive train that's just come off. You know, there's still a lot to go. There's still a lot of work to be done, but that is at least something for Strike or Be Struck to hang on to in this game number 4. Khan wanted the bump, didn't find it. HP gets across. Not a lot of boost on the side of Outlaws, and that will come home to roost. Yonix fires home, and there is something different about this Strike or Be Struck roster in this game 4.
Whatever I said in between games, can we just delete the clip? We'll mute that section in the VOD, because it just does not matter. Like you said, Strike or Be Struck come out different gravy here in game 4 with all the pressure set against them on their final life. For once, pressure has certainly made diamonds out of them, but this is only minute 1.
It is still plenty of time, and Black Strike to work with his teammates to get this one away, but Khan proving to be a difficult man to get beyond. The bump doesn't come through. Black Strike able to make the save, and he's done that a couple of times now. He's avoided the bump, avoided the demo. He's got one there onto Safix. Unsure about that angle, how he's managed it, but he has. Khan going to start to accelerate down the field off the left from Safix. The waterfall down. A shot in from HP. He doesn't need a second touch. The ball was moving so slowly, it just kissed the crossbar and went in. Outlaws back within 1.
I'm so confused at how this play even happened in the first place. Does Yonex even get a touch? That ball just all of a sudden got injected with lead halfway on its course and just dropped down into the back of the net. I was also expecting a double tap, and frankly, I think the defense of Strike or Be Struck expected a bit more as well, although 2-goal difference. Would a return almost did there from Frantic. Flip reset triple touch, that would have done nicely, but Outlaws not letting them have it.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a little bit on the booth about, you know, content goals, right? Some things you just got to let in, just for the clip. Unfortunately, that
video.
one does. Yeah, exactly. You know, think of it. You know, think of redirects. All right, when you're doing these kinds of things, think about their socials. But that one does get saved, and nice work from Outlaws, because you do get the feeling if Strike or Be Struck had scored there, and they have scored now, they are going to start to run away with this game number 4, and we could be going to Champions Field. For the moment, there is still plenty of time, but Frantic's just speed, the way he's able to get across the field is so frightening.
Yeah, it was an awkward angle. I forgot what those kinds of shots are called, but I guess we'll have to move on. 3-1 here to Strike or Be Struck, and kickoff foe going out dangerously in the favour of Outlaws. It doesn't find the back of the net. For a second, it looked like it would. HP is completely with the ball. He has boosted the tank as well. Slightly miscalculated the trajectory. It's definitely been a bit more of a chaotic fair here, Rhino. We have moments of utter brilliance, then we have whiffs, and then we have double commits in the corners like that. We have lane balls flying towards the net for opportunities that should surely be changing the score sheets. Ultimately, 4 goals do stand, and we're past that halfway point.
Do you just wonder if this... Oh my goodness, how does that one not go in? If the Outlaws game plan has been started to be figured out by Strike or Be Struck, they're getting a lot of demos, they're getting a lot of... They're kind of trying to bully Strike or Be Struck. But the counterattacks are so swift, they're so calculated, and this one just hits the post. But you see the point right there. Outlaws are pushing so hard to try and get back into the game, to try and get that second goal on the board. They might do here, but the demo in the back lines, it's an empty net to aim at. Yonex surely will finish the job. No, gets back in time to Safix. What a recovery.
Completely overcooked, though, from Yonex. He just had to flip a millisecond earlier, and that would have had some power behind it, and the defense would have been forced to respond. I'm not even sure if he had to slow himself down in the first place. Instead, the counterattacks come, and HP deservedly takes his goal.
I mean, just talk about that, from that redirect from Khan. If that goes in, we're talking about that for years. But unfortunately, it does hit the post. HP has to clean it up. But just the way that he's able to get that angle, and it doesn't go ballooning over the bar either. It's in a position where his teammates can follow through. Outlaws, they know they've got 2 opportunities to get to the grand final. They don't want to use both of them. They are really trying to make this one work. That one will miss wide. Yonex going to try and keep the ball alive. Pinches down to a teammate, but there's a recovery in from Outlaws. The clearance is there. Frantic does get back in time, but he doesn't get the second touch. Oh, there's a double touch there. Blackstrike had to make a save. Outlaws in the ascendancy going into the final 60 seconds, and that one gets saved.
Safix has to tip this one out, just give some time here for the defense to get back, or perhaps the Stayers offense. HP with a redirect. Safix will be on. No follow-up touches. Going to come off the back of that. Carnvo makes it high. Safix, I don't think he could decide there between the soft touch or taking that one off the backboard. Either way, all angles seemingly covered for Strike or Be Struck. Game 5 still on the cards for a spot in the grand finals, but Outlaws want to get it done here. This is an attack to potentially push to OT. Shut down by Yonex on the goal line. And again, coming off that backboard.
Yeah, but they're not done yet. Safix into the middle, gets beyond Frantic, but there's a cut there. HP takes the ball. Safix again with the pass. Oh, that's a double commit from Strike or Be Struck. There's a chance at the back post, but no! Safix! The one time you don't want to miss touches right there and then. HP gets a reset, but he can't follow through. Get the ball on the ground, Strike or Be Struck, and you will get the chance to go to Champions Field. And that's exactly what happens. Outlaws will be kicking themselves.
Both teams, they need to take this last minute to go into their kitchen and just spend a moment to sit in the freezer. no ice from either team, if we're being completely honest, in that last game. So many clear-cut opportunities wasted, albeit the ones that did go in were absolutely class. That was lovely there from Frantic. Another really well-worked play here for this second goal. A cheeky inside pass there to Yonex. But when it got a little bit later into that game, Rhino, it was panicky all around. The offense didn't want to take the goals, coming from the defense completely panicking and leaving the net open in the first place. Wasteful has definitely been a word of the day, both in the upper finals and in the lower finals. And you've got to clean that up heading into this game 5, otherwise the bin men are going to take you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's so strange because we know what these two teams are capable of. Well, certainly from the Outlaws side, we've seen them play these games so many times, but Champions Field doth call for these two rosters. And we will be getting back on the field immediately. It's 5 minutes of Rocket League, 300 seconds to determine third place and an opportunity in the grand final. Oh. Yonex gets things started for Strike or Be Struck.
That's a calm start from him. Oh my goodness. Axle breaker for the first two Outlaws players. HP last man standing gets completely 50'd through. That's a bit more like it. We asked these players to, just do it for redirect. Give us some entertainment. They did do in game 4, but I feel like game 5 is going to be those same cards for very different reasonings. Tyres warm on both teams now as they both grab themselves a kickoff goal. It's not quite as fancy as what we saw from Strike or Be Struck, but it'll certainly get that job done.
Yep, doesn't matter how they go in, does it? As long as they do from from both sides, really. 4 minutes 48. Black Strike. It's a demo onto Khan. Frantic taking it through, but Safik steals it from him. Double touch. Angle's not found by HP. Yonex can try and bring it away. Khan doesn't have a lot of boost in the tank, but he has enough. Sent over onto the far side. Now HP just goes beyond that ball. Still gets a second touch. Can't get past Frantic. Yonex into the corner. Getting another touch to get the pass back. Does do so. There's an Outlaws player there to send him away. Just under a minute played. And this game 5 could be everything that we've wanted to see from these two teams.
Traffic's up, and Khan waiting underneath. Will overlap that play. It's going to hit the crossbar, and still Yonex able to get himself a touch from inside the net for that first clearance. Yonex stays on. Big clear here to Frantic, but again, not able to string that final pass together. Bumps coming through. It's gone in a bit more physical as this series has progressed. And just like I say, that constant clashing of cars here in the midfield made it difficult for both teams to take space, but Strike or Be Struck will work with what they've got now. One play with a bit of boost of attack. Look to go for that bump, and that will fall flat. This one comes through. Khan off that backboard. Needs to be there for the follow-up. And the third comes through with a 50 yet again. HP, what can he create?
At the moment, not enough for his team. Now this one off the corner will be saved by Yonex. A double commit. Surely this is an opportunity for Outlaws. They go for the crossbar, really. I think either you've got to go for the double touch or take a shot into a corner there. Didn't really do either. Strike or Be Struck survive when Outlaws really should be 2-1 up, as this is another opportunity. Yonex drops it down. Oh, Safik tries to clear it. Whoa. It's awkward now. Frantic drops it down, but the clearance is in, and maybe the go-ahead from HP out of the corner. Doesn't really get a good touch. Gets a bump, though. Chance here. Safik doesn't score.
Black Strike wants that clearance. Only finds Khan yet again. 100 boost as well to fill up that tank. HP on the follow-up. It's been a huge opportunity there for Outlaws to get that second goal through. Backboard surely will find clearance from Yonex. HP will regret bailing away from that bump. Now there's full space there on the backboard and no boost to deal with it. You can only get 2 out of 3 perfect positions, it feels like, for these players, and you need all 3 if you want to get yourself a goal. HP not going to be able to follow up on that corner. It's all Khan to catch. Frantic is completely beaten. The one-man army finds 3 to be a bit too many to get this play forward, and now it's going to be Strike or Be Struck yet again. Options in field. It's Black Strike who will strike, but saves coming out again from Khan.
This is where Strike or Be Struck have proven to be very, very dangerous. Deep in the Outlaws' half. This time, Suffix, it's a hand to it, and HP does get the clearance. An opportunity for Outlaws to refill those boost tanks. Suffix out the corner. Frantic. Send it away. He sees Khan on the sidewall. Khan will settle for the bump rather than the ball. Suffix. All high in the sky. He might be looking for a double. He's going to leave it for HP. Ball at the back post. Khan takes a shot. Blackstrike able to push it away. The ball dropped down again. Yonex going to be there with the save this time. As Suffix off the backboard. Frantic off the sidewall. None of the Outlaws players really seem to have a plan right now. They're kind of just driving in formation, but not really sure who's going to get the ball. And it comes back to bite them. As Frantic finishes this one off. He's been so good for Strike or Be Struck all day today. An opportunity granted. An opportunity taken. 2-1.
Strike or Be Struck played with intention. Outlaws were playing for survival there, and ultimately, you get what you play for. Strike or Be Struck have got what they played for, but Outlaws, we know how they play from behind all of a sudden. Those cogs start to turn. They get that bit stronger. 1 minute remaining in a game 5. It'd be foolish to think that there isn't still something yet to happen to earn a spot in the grand finals. HP can't dribble his way through. Khan wants to find Suffix, but a bit too wide to grab that play forward from the wings again. Suffix across, just looking to be that playmaker. It's going to be Khan for first collection. HP has that backup. Suffix yet again looking to find inside space. And Yonex has been sick to death off this Catalyst being on the pitch. Wiped him off, but he is right back in field here to be a forward in the side of this defense. Or is he?
Yeah, I was saying, it feels like they're sending a message to Suffix right now. Do not respawn at your own risk. Khan, beautiful pass up to HP. Intercepted by Yonex at the angle! Khan! That is gorgeous!
Unbelievable from Khan! And this is why you don't creep all 3 players into your own corner. And this is why you do not count out Khan. Not only is he featured in multiple grand finals, he's got a history of winning them. Looking to return to that glory. It's Khan yet again, the hero to potentially get the job done on 0. It's OT. Renshiro calls it cinema. You don't get anything like this outside a redirect monthlies, ladies and gentlemen. Yonex going for that sidewall. Khan with a dunk yet again, coming in early here from the OT. They're looking to get it done, and HP secures it. Outlaws will go to the grand finals.
Well, it's very apt his name is HP, because that one was saucy. Finds it into the bottom left-hand corner. Outlaws finish the job. And we've been able to witness some fantastic Rocket League in the lower bracket final. You do feel like Strike or Be Struck are going to be wondering about what might have been. They've been fantastic throughout today. Unfortunately, they just could not get past this first challenge. We had 2 goals inside 12 seconds in this game. But in the end, that was not enough. And Outlaws, they take home the victory, and they have got a date with velocityrll in the grand final.
Champions Field favouring the former champions of the Redirect Monthly. This is going to be a historic affair in the grand finals. If you just scroll down again, that monthly Hall of Fame list in the Discord server, you're going to see multiple of those players featured listed on numerous occasions. An absolute banger to round out number 24 of these Redirect 3v3 monthlies. You could not write a better script.
You absolutely couldn't, and it's just wonderful to see, right? We are so excited now going into this grand final. You can see it down there. Outlaws, they are through, but they know who they're playing against. It's a game that's happened a fair few times. Who will take it home this time? It's velocityrll versus Outlaws in the Redirect Monthly number 24 grand final. We'll see you after this short break.
early, completely dominating the Outlaws, but all of a sudden, things started to change. It got all topsy-turvy. The scales started to tip. Outlaws decided it was their time to shine, but it's not best of 3 anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Best of 5 are brutal, and the extra bit of experience from that upper finals carried Outlaws back into this upper point. We got the grands. It's going to be Velocity versus Outlaws. They lost a little bit of steam there. The strike will be struck by the end of it, but can you blame them? 10 seconds making the difference in regulation, and in a weighted best of 7, that can be a similar case as well. We've seen moments define series like this.
We have, and it just goes to show about Rocket League as an esport. We talk about it being fast-paced. We talk about it going, you know, the distance at times. But it is determined by these small micro decisions, these minor moments, these 10-second plays that you've got to be perfect on. Otherwise, you are going to end up on the losing side. So that is the situation. And I have just seen, by the way, that the teams have agreed it is a winner take all. This is not a 70-30 match anymore. This is a 100 or nothing matchup between velocityrll and Outlaws.
Well, it was similar standings last time. velocityrll, of course, coming out on top in monthly 23. Champions listed amongst these two rosters. Darku still going to be playing in place of Velocity, MSN and Motion making up the rest of that roster versus Khan, HP and Sapphics. And I crunched down the numbers. Khan, 3 Redirect Monthly Championship. Motion also sharing 3. MSN with his first coming from the last month. And Velocity, who I will mention because he did play earlier today, with a total of 5. And overall, 12 championship runnings between these two rosters. And that is out of 23 completed monthlies. Just an insane record. This one has to be a classic.
If there was ever a Redirect Monthly All-Stars match, which, by the way, you can have for free as a tournament idea at some point if you want, this would be exactly what you'd be looking at, right? These 6 players taking to the field. You would probably want Velocity to be involved, of course. He won't be today. However, these are the top players in Redirects. These are the top players that have been playing in the monthlies. We're going to get them onto the field very, very soon, Pegasus. A best of 7 to get things underway, to get things to determine who will take home the £100 between velocityrll and Outlaws. The teams have made it through a grueling test today, but now they face each other for all the marbles.
3 games required for velocityrll to add another championship to the players' collection. 4 Outlaws. It's a weighted best of 7 and a 1-game difference. Might not sound like much, but when you are facing the pedigree on the side of velocityrll, you're going to find out rather quickly why that feat is going to be rather tough. The players, though, entering the pitch, and ladies and gentlemen, it has been a wonderful day for Rocket League, but monthly 24 is about to come to an end. Winner takes all, Velocity versus Outlaws.
Here we go then. It's going to be a quick start for Outlaws as they try and get possession of that ball. HP down the left-hand side. MSN plays into the middle. That's a lovely pass. It's not going to find the goal. Khan brings it away down the left. Takes a shot. It's going to be Darku, remember, who is taking the place of Velocity for this game. Be able to clear that one away. 30 seconds gone. Still 0-0.
And of course, MSN being Legacy, a legacy which he is trying to create here in the monthlies. Motion already having achieved that, looking to grab his 4th record for his career here in the monthlies. HP just looks awkward in that corner. Darku did well to challenge, and ultimately, Motion not going to miss if you leave him open like that.
No, absolutely not, as does convert. velocityrll 1-0 in the lead, and you have to talk about the fact that obviously they haven't been playing, well, they might have been playing Rocket League, but they've not been playing competitively for the last roughly hour while that lower bracket final was taking place. They don't seem to have lost a step, though. They have definitely been preparing, getting into free play, getting those scrims together, getting the team working and ready for this grand final. 1-0 up early. Outlaws, they've already got a hill to climb.
And already we're seeing that beat forward from Velocity, hunting for that second goal, and MSM recovers himself beautifully. It's Darku with the second goal for Velocity, and this is so well worked. Low on boost here was MSM, but still just able to time his run with perfection. Not a single Outlaws defender to be seen anywhere, but what have we learned from Outlaws, Rhino? They have personality. We saw how they fought in those lower semi-finals. That one went all the way to a Game 3 with a rather strenuous overtime, and well, a Game 5 as well in that last match where they were able to clutch up with 10 seconds left in regulation. Can never really count them out, and that's what's so special.
It really is. They've been providing moments throughout all of today, right the way from the community casts all the way to the mainstream. Outlaws, as you say, never count them out, but might start to at least get concerned if they do go 3-0 down in this game number 1. Remember, the way that the Redirects Monthlies work is the team that comes from that upper bracket do get a game head start. You can see it at the top. So this is game 1, but Velocity are automatically, because of their standing, given a free game in this grand final. So all they need to do is win 3. Outlaws need to win 4. And after this game, that's a wonderful finish. Darku making it 3. It may only be 2 wins required after this one.
Really well worked there. Coming off the ceiling, HP had to power slide himself around. Anticipated that one was going to be sent far post, but Darku knows how to recover himself. Goes for near instead. And leaves Outlaws a little bit jumbled in amongst their own net. And these first games in weighted best of 7s, I find so crucial. It can run away from you so quickly if you are that team coming in from the lower brackets. I feel like neutralizing those standings and reducing it into a best of 5 is such a buff for the team coming from low, as the first game is such a crucial swing, which you don't really see in any other format.
No, you don't. And obviously one of the other major ones that we see is a bracket reset. So, you know, Velocity would have to win only 1 series, but Outlaws would have to win 2 in a row. That is another common format. And you're right, you don't get that same level. The game 1 isn't quite as important. Safix understands the assignment. He understands how important this one is. Gets the first goal for Outlaws in this grand final. And with 2 minutes to go, there is only 2 goals in it.
Listen, I am not going to be thrown off the scent here. I know that Outlaws can pull off that late shocker like they did do to secure their spots here in the first place. HP, though, beaten on that occasion. Darku looking for the sidewall read. Legacy off the backboard. Ends up sending that one further away from target, but just closer in possession. Buying their time for that perfect opportunity. Motion taking that one off the corner. He's not going to force shots off away if it's just going to end up giving away possession. They like to be in control. They are in control. Motion is blocked at that final streak. And Darku, ooh, for a second there, I thought had 50'd it into his own net.
It looks a little bit close, didn't it? But no, it goes down the other way. And Motion finishes into the top left. This is something so funny about Velocity. Is just when you think that they're at their most vulnerable, just when you think they're about to concede or they're about to do something that doesn't work in the context of the game, they just go down the other end and score. They're just like, what were you worried about? There's absolutely no problems here. We know exactly what we're doing, and they're proving it here. 1 minute, 10 seconds. Goal required here for Outlaws, but HP's awkward. Won't be able to follow through. There's another... Oh, that's wonderful! Safix with the slow play instead, confusing the Velocity defense. Beautiful from him.
Unorthodox for the setup, but cheeky from Safix. I love that flip away because everyone's anticipating that power shot. And it's what we said before, isn't it? You can never count out the Outlaws. 65 seconds to try and make all the difference. Otherwise, Velocity are going to be already chasing away the series record.
Yeah, absolutely. And now down this right-hand side, it's Darku. He has the opportunity. Motion, backboard, cleared away by Khan for the moment. Now it's MSN off the ceiling. Just trying to shadow that ball really across the field. Make it difficult for Outlaws to find that clearance away. Does a good job of that as well. Darku off the ceiling. Nope. Cleared by Safix. Khan down the right-hand side. MSN goes by. Motion will have to try and get past all three members of Outlaws. And of course he does. Of course he does.
Makes it look so easy. Safix takes it over, and Darku able to get that block at that near post. And so far, this has been just a confident affair from Velocity. They've had their little moments where Outlaws have certainly been in possession, but in control. Now that's a different story. Even off the ball, siphoned off well to these corners. Outlaws haven't really had all that much space. They've had those two moments, but typically it's not going to be a moments team that wins a best of 7. It's the one that's more consistent. It's the one that's taking every single shot away and creating every single opportunity from the midfield. And that has been not just in this monthly, but in many, many before. TTV, Velocity are out.
Yeah, it's so strange, isn't it? Because they do continue to come with the same outlook. They come with the same game plan every single monthly. And they win every single monthly. It just feels like they just keep getting the dubs, right? No one's able to figure out this game plan. And it's working out for them beautifully. I know we've got Kingsman in chat as well. He's going to now start moaning, oh, we figured it out in that one game that didn't count. Yeah, all right, buddy. No problem. As this one will find its way into the net. And, we've got game number 2 just around the corner. But of course, remember, Velocity are 2-0 up in the series after coming through in that upper bracket. So Pegasus, Outlaws didn't take the first victory. They didn't take that first game. We know that's to their detriment, but now this next game becomes just 10 times more magnified.
Absolutely. You do not want to rely on a best of 7 reverse sweep. I'm not sure if that's actually happened before in the history of these redirect monthlies. If it has, I can only imagine it was only once or twice in the 23 that have concluded. But I like how we've been talking about how velocityrll, this is always what they do. It always follows this team name. But it's been a few iterations of this roster. Originally, Glyfty was one of the members of it, alongside, I believe it was Velocity and Motion. MSN has come in place of Glyfty. And, well, in place of Velocity, we've had Darku. And all is just seemingly the same up and running.
Yeah. Yeah, it does seem that way, doesn't it? The players interchangeable and they still get the same results. It's very impressive. I mean, Darku is fantastic in his own right. That's a wonderful play by MSN! The finish from Darku is nice. But let's talk about this play from MSN off the left-hand side. Got the reset, got past Khan. Beautiful pass. Great finish. Velocity have not dropped a step. 1-0.
And two things that have been crucial with how velocityrll have played is shot selection and shot placement. They always wait for the perfect time to strike. If they don't see that shot finding the back of the net, they'll play off the corner. They'll play it to a teammate. And where they place it, Darku especially, full compliments to him, always seemingly playing it against the momentum of the defender. It just simply makes it impossible to save. And again, MSN on Motion gets the miss. And, well, just as I've complimented shot selection, maybe should have taken that one on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a little bit better reading of the play there. Maybe some communication from teammates would have been nice, but didn't come through. That's a nice effort from Darku. He's going to try and get on the end of it. MSN pass inside. It's a dangerous pass inside, but it's worked out for velocityrll. And I don't like the number of times I say that. They make these dangerous passes. They take a lot of risks. And somehow it always seems to work out for them just from their sheer speed across the field. Darku unable to get too much going there. The clearance is in. Motion is pushed very far forwards. Will be able to get back in time to make the save.
Motion has to wait ahead. Safix is forced to use his flip. Khan is going to have to pick this one up forward, but it's low boost overall here from Outlaws. Velocity completely dominant in that fashion. And again, this is what I was talking about at the end of that last game. Still seemingly in control, even when they're out of possession, able to pick up the ball in a nice spot as well. Motion will be looking for MSN inside. MSN, though, having to take it back to that very same wing. Darku has 2 players in front of him. Outlaws are looking for that gap. Motion doesn't want to provide it. Khan has to put it right back into this corner. But again, Motion not giving up on the play. Still with a little bit of boost left in the tank. The conservation is perfect. And they've just been able to wheel their way out like it was nothing.
Oh, Motion!
Oh!
That angle so nearly found. And if he did, I mean, I know Hazza has just put together the redirect intro. He'd have to put together another one if that one went through. Goodness gracious. This one dropped down, cleared away by Khan out of the corner from Motion. It's going to be brought through by MSN, but he gets donked. Khan takes it through. Motion will surely be able to get back in time, but still doesn't have a lot of boost. Big win by Darku to get some space. Be able to get some room. No, that's a lie. They thought they had room. They thought they had a moment to breathe. Outlaws say that they don't. A shot taken from their own half. Khan finishes. Just over 2 minutes left. 1-1.
Oh my goodness, well, you're going to take those opportunities when they come. It's a very rare error coming from velocityrll, but it's that little bit of juice that Outlaws have needed in this game. A little bit of confidence to their backs now. They know that these gods certainly do bleed. Darku, though, inside, looking to show what they're made of yet again. Motion with that first fake is disgusting. MSN's an option. The box is completely open, but Khan, what a recovery for the save. I thought that goal was set in stone.
Where did he come from? That's absolutely unbelievable. Darku takes a shot there, cleared away by Safix, and it's just reeling a little bit. I think Velocity thought the same thing. I think they probably thought that was a guaranteed goal. Khan makes it difficult for them, and ends up getting the save. Darku, that one goes over the top from Motion. The clearance away. HP gonna bring this one through for Outlaws. MSN back from whence it came. HP up on the side wall. Safix off the corner. One kind of by Darku. And MSN does finish the clearance, and that's a miss from Khan. It's a lovely fake from HP to make one miss. Still an opportunity. Darku comes through, but Safix wins the 5th.
Motion has a perfect first touch. Flip reset as well to follow Breezy Flick. We'll see that extra bit of space. Darku's looking for the double, and looks like he would have had it, but Safix had it blocked. Counter-attack initiated just when you thought Velocity were going to have their highlight plays. It's Outlaws back onto the attack. Slight double commits coming through, though. Again, reducing all their firepower. And that's the little bit of space Velocity need to escape. Now it's them again, tightening the vice, and Outlaws need to claw their way out.
You're absolutely right there, Pegasus. They do only need a brief moment. They just need a sniff to be able to break through your line, and that's exactly what they got there. But Outlaws going to drop this ball down. Clearance away. Back in from the middle. And this is going to be MSN now, collecting the ball on his bonnet. Down the left side. Motion for a teammate. This is the closest game we've had so far in this series, and there's a chance here to win it for Outlaws. But it will be sent wide. There's another chance still. They've got to get the ball on the ground of velocityrll. They do. And we go OT.
And they've got to get this win. This is crucial for Outlaws. If velocityrll are able to get that 3rd game across and force out a reverse sweep as a response from Outlaws, it just feels like too much to ask for. Desperation save made by Safix. Bumps coming through. Khan catches it off the recovery. And it is always Khan, it feels like. You think he's out for play. He's able to recover himself gorgeously in every occasion. Here he is again to get that first ball forward. HP looks to find that 3rd man, but the combinatory plays don't quite come together. It's Velocity yet again reigniting this offense, which is always so hard for the opponents to extinguish. Outlaws backboard has to be the chance. Great clearance from MSN.
It is, but that 51 by Khan. Motion doesn't have a lot of boost to work with, and is very awkward indeed. Off the angle, save made. Motion clears. And velocityrll, they're not going down without a fight. But a fight is exactly what Outlaws are providing right now. Motion pops it forwards. Darku was just a little bit cautious about going for that ball. Maybe there's an element of nerves in the velocityrll camp. Motion flicks forwards. MSN backboard double found off the post. And Outlaws survive.
Oh, and again, we've been saying that a win here for Velocity. Essentially, game, set, and match. That could have been an early decider if Darku was able to get it through. Motion vote. That's a lovely pre-flip to try and find MSN. It's too heavy. However, Outlaws take possession. HP wants the angle, but it's going to be Darku on the backboard. A little bit of boost. Wants to get those pre-flips thrown in there off the flip reset. Can't get its way out, and Khan, one touch. Second is crucial. Saved by Motion on the goal line. And a second hitting the post from HP.
So close from Outlaws. They're not going to want us to say that. They're going to want us to say there's a goal. And they just haven't been able to find the finishing touch. Darku off the left side. Wants the bump. Gets the demo instead. Shot on. Cleared away by Khan. Off the angle. And as you've said before, Pegasus, it's always seeming to be Khan for Outlaws. 2.5 minutes gone in OT. So many opportunities, so many chances. All have gone by the wayside. Darku gets demoed. Will be dealt with by MSN. Up off the left side. Met by Safix. Off the backboard. He's respawned has Darku and he's found the pass to MSN. A laser shot, but Khan makes the save.
And how long can Outlaws just get away with it? A goal soon. It just has to happen. Eventually, they are going to slip on their own lines. Probabilities will start to even out. Is this going to be the opportunity? Darku fighting through, and Khan pinches it wide. Darku just gets rid of him. Can't beat him, delete him. MSN puts himself on championship points.
What is happening there?
How's that?
That's a good point. Yeah, let's I think everyone needs it. I think everyone needs 5 minutes just to calm themselves down, because that was one of the craziest endings to a series ever. One of the craziest OTs ever. Just how did Outlaws not score earlier? How did Velocity wait 3 minutes 10 to score? It felt like there were so many opportunities for goals and none came. And then eventually it was this. This is the thing to give them the key. Khan.
He had to follow up.
He did. Khan the savior once again. Putting the ball onto the post. And just couldn't clear it. I mean, he got unlucky. He was unfortunate. On another day, that ball gets pinched between himself and the post and flies back downfield, right? And we're not talking about the end of OT right now. Millimeters, pixels. And now, it does say 2-0 down there. It's actually 3. Velocity have grand final point somehow.
Wow. And velocityrll overall had 8 saves in that last game, OT inclusive. Khan had 7 alone. 7 saves in that last game. Motion says we're trolling. I feel like he's given production a little bit of a scare there. We're not going to be able to get game 4 underway, but players are here now. And Outlaws looking for a reverse sweep. A dire spot to find themselves in. We know that they have that potential to beat out Velocity and to potentially go for full distance. You can't rely on just rock-solid defense. We need to see more in the final third. You've got to stop Motion from getting those early head starts. MSN on the follow, but Khan again with the block through. HP 1v1. Khan's a wide option. Should it dribble out? And Motion was able to stop it before it came to fruition.
Oh, that's a wonderful pass. And now Darku's got a chance. Finds the pass to MSN. What a save! I mean, is just the spirit of Manuel Neuer. I know he's not dead, but you know what I mean. Just it seems to be running through Khan.
Ooh.
Motion finds the bottom left corner. Maybe Lev Yashin? Let's go with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, what a finish. The Velocity get the goal, but I'm going to be sat here talking about that Khan save for a very long time.
And you might have some time to do so. 4 minutes left in this game. velocityrll able to get themselves off to a lead. They are going to be looking for that sweep. And again, Outlaws back against the wall. Doesn't this sound familiar? Not just in this series. We've seen it many times beforehand in the run-up to this grand finals. HP Blocked off by Darku, and it's just ping-ponging between those two players, and ultimately, velocityrll coming out on top. Lovely little dummy there from Darku to let that one play out to motion, but ultimately left completely open. Outlaws able to respond. Sapix onto the score sheet. It ain't pretty, but it gets the job done.
And I mean, you've just got to think about this from the context of the tournament as a whole, right? Outlaws, this would be one of the Cinderella stories of all time, right? From losers round 2, they went down to lose.
Oh.
Right, I'm making a point.
I don't care. Right, whatever you say, I don't care.
They?
Look at this from motion. This is what he does. He shuts everyone up. His opponent, the casters. He tells the producer and owner of the org and the tournament to ready up in between games. It's his tournament at this point, and with the amount of championship he has, I mean, we might as well give him partial ownership.
His tournament, we're just living in it, right? That's it's a paraphrasing of a popular phrases now. This one off the right-hand side, it might be an immediate response. And we are going back and forth, left and right, to and fro, Pegasus. 2-2.
Lovely there from Safix. Got to catch on that near post. And like I said, when those goals come through, you have to respond quickly. If you want to eliminate all the momentum, and Outlaws have a lot of momentum to neutralize here against Velocity. But can they have anything? Can we have nice things when you're playing against TTV Velocity? It doesn't matter the players on the pitch. This is Darku's first time playing for the roster in a redirect monthly, and his impact has certainly been noticed.
How many more goals are we going to get? It's been 2 minutes. We got 5. That might be another opportunity at least. Motion's going to come through with the 50. MSM following through, but it's a great save away. Motion. Whoa. Safix has been robbed of his 100 boost right there. Could cause some problems for the Outlaws defense. Turn by Darku. Goes over the top. Down by Khan. Gets a second touch as well. Makes it awkward for MSN. Now the ball off the backboard. MSN once again. A bit awkward. HP tries to find the pass into the middle. Motion will bring it through. Ball into the middle. That's now Darku. Motion takes over. He's got Darku inside. That's beautiful. Oh. And you just expect those to go home. It didn't this time. But beautiful team play from velocityrll.
A few Unreal units away from perfection. You know, but that's what velocityrll can provide. Legacy will send it deep yet again. They fancy their second chances. Motion's already up. Is that on target? Oh my goodness, what a play. MSN will catch another one of Velocity's disciples, looking to grab his second redirect monthly in a row.
I mean, we might never know if that initial shot was on target. But if it was...
He pre-jumped that, like, a minute before.
oh, yeah. Like, before the game had even started, it felt like he pre-jumped it. Do you know what I mean? Like, just from so long ago. That's a clearance away from Motion. He's going to have to get a second touch to this one. Fakes out the attack of Khan. Fakes a second time as well. Motion, you little dancer. He gets the reset, goes for the shot. It's cleared away. But Khan is taken out before he can find the finishing touch. They are playing with their food, Pegasus.
Motion making himself reverse, going for the squishy save. Double and triple commits coming out. And it already feels like that Velocity are just treating the final stages of this game as a victory lap. And that can blow up in their face. Outlaws scoring 2 goals in a minute and a bit is something we've seen on numerous occasions today. And if velocityrll continue to, let's be honest here, troll a little bit like they have done for the past few minutes, we might see another twist in this tale. But for now, velocityrll, it doesn't matter how they play, they've been able to hold on to this score sheet. That's a really high challenge coming from Darku, and that one should have been Safix's hat-trick. He doesn't connect. Darku's decided to jump up. He's got a lovely view of MSN's attack, but ultimately they'll have to settle for 4 for the time being. For the time being, I will say.
That's a very important clarification, because they are not giving up right now. The pinch down. Oh my goodness. Didn't find the finish, but I mean, they are using every single trick in the book, every shot in their arsenal to try and get this 5th goal on the board. And with 10 seconds remaining, it feels like they've done enough. The ball will be pancaked on the sidewall. It's moved through from Darku to Motion. And as the clock ticks down, the game is done. And so is the tournament. velocityrll go perfect in the grand final. 3 wins on the day, 4 wins technically in the context of the series. And they take home the entire winner's purse, £100 to velocityrll, and my goodness, do they deserve it.
First monthly for Darku, the 2nd in a row, by the way, for MSN, a 4th for Motion, and Velocity did play earlier today, so I'll give him credit, a 6th for Velocity. We quite simply got the Redirect Monthlies Avengers together with, I guess, Darku and MSN being those new pickup signings to make their waves here for the monthlies, but ultimately that will be the end of 24. And it's not to say, Rhino, that they had any particularly weak opposition.
No, they didn't, and that's what's scary. And that's what's scary. That's what the concern is. They make really good players, really solid players look average. And that's no disrespect to Outlaws. We know what they can provide. That's just what happened on the day. So there you see it down there. Series winner, TTV velocityrll. They are your Redirect 24 champions. And Pegasus, from the moment that we started this mainstream, it looks like it was theirs to lose.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You see those names sign up yet again. We didn't know, actually, that Darku would be playing today, but you see the same roster that was able to win in convincing fashion in the last monthly. I feel like you'd be foolish not to really expect that they would at least be making the grand finals and getting a share of that prize pool. Not that, by the way, the grand finals guaranteed any prize pool, because the players just decided to make it winners take all. So actually...
Yeah.
velocityrll have gone and taken the full £100 away from Outlaws, who will go home with nothing. Great action all the way through, however. And, of course, we did have some community casts today as well. It was Kiki, Zexually, Weltorium, and Voptic that were running our community broadcast. We saw some great action in some of those, which helped build up to the mainstream. It was an absolute pleasure to have them across. If you go on the Twitter, you can see some of their Twitters, you can see their Twitch as well. Be sure to drop them some support. And, well, sign-ups for monthly number 25. We're going to keep this train rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Open up tomorrow. So if you fancy your chances against velocityrll and then other grand finals, be sure to sign up.
Very important to make sure that you go and do that. The more challenges that they have, the more people that sign up, the better the chance that we can dethrone velocityrll, though I'm sure they will welcome the challenge. As we look ahead to number 25 now, number 24 in the books. Make sure, as always, you use !Discord as well to get an invite into the Discord, and so you yourself can sign up for Redirect Monthly number 25. Go ahead and follow all of us at Redirect Esports on Twitter, at RhinoCast11, myself, at Pegasus over for Pegasus as well. And yeah, as I say, just make sure that everybody is following. Sorry, it's at RedirectGG on Twitter, Redirect Esports on Twitch. Need to make that abundantly clear.
Of course, be sure to follow them on all socials. You can also find myself, Pegasus, on Twitter as just Pegasus, and Rhino as RhinoCast11. It's been an absolute pleasure, as always, to be on the broadcast, and of course, a shout out to Hazza as well, the owner of Redirect, your producer, your admin, your observer, absolutely everything. It's been a pleasure yet again, ladies and gentlemen. I love you. Bye.
Bass.